Hey, it's Rose, and we are here at Oregon Heritage Farms. I've got lots of extra greens from winter weddings that I've been doing, and I thought what better way to use them than put them together in a wreath. Even though the holiday season has passed, I want to showcase that you can make a gorgeous green wreath year-round. You can use one in the summer, spring, and fall, and add little textures to identify the season. We've got beautiful hyacinth bulbs and some hiawatha, long-lasting. We're going to shake the soil out. Those don't need to be watered. This will be looking fabulous 2 months from now. If you want to do something with silks, you can also go to Joann's Fabric and find that basic styrofoam wreath that you've seen. Use your own silks, but this is going to be more what you would find in your own backyard or a friend's backyard that you could potentially pilfer from. I know I have a few people that I like to snip when they're not paying attention. I'm going to be using this topiary wreath that I got quite cheaply at Trader Joe's, but another thing you can do is pull out that shoddy looking holiday wreath that maybe isn't looking as optimal as it was, pull off the dead bits and use that basic frame. Either way, silks or fresh, we're going to use the same basic technology to create your own personal piece of perfection. So what I've got here, just to identify my greens, although you're going to be using whatever you find, I've got some rhododendron, I've got a little bit of pine, which even though is potentially a holiday item, I think piney textures are gorgeous year-round. That's just the Northwest girl in me. I've also got some daphne, which will start flowering and looking lovely. I've got some camellia bush, and I've got my namesake rosemary for remembrance and a little bit of smell. The thing that I would want to use about any of these is that these all have longevity. So if you're popping around your backyard and searching for the right thing, you want to go ahead and feel that leaf. If it kind of has a waxy quality to it, or it has that piney quality, or similarly piney quality of the rosemary, those are going to be the things that last the longest and dry looking pretty fabulous. So first what we're going to do is chop up our bits of things. After you've collected the perfect thing, you just want to start chopping tiny little pieces that are going to be easy to weave into that wreath. From here, there's two ways that you can do things. You can either wire things, which will have the best long-lasting effect, because that wire isn't going to loosen over time. It's going to hold really nicely. But if you just want to have something that you maybe have for like a month or two that you're not necessarily going to put away in storage and try to use that frame again, then you can always use hot glue. I personally like to use the kiddie hot glue gun because I'm a total klutz and I've burned myself on the adult one more than once. I've got the lasting scars to prove it. Not cute. But just, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Today we're going to use the glue because it's a lot faster. Things will go faster. Okay. I do get so scared of the glue gun, even though I use it all the time. It is par for the course that I'm going to burn myself, even with the child gun. So you can see as I'm putting this together, I'm just going to put a few little pieces around at various intervals. Okay, for this wreath, I'm going to be using some of these spring bulbs. There are a bunch of different kinds of spring bulbs. There's crocus, there's little iris, there's little tulips. I think the hyacinth, however, are going to be the ones that work best though, because once you shake that soil out, there's not really an opportunity for it to be as easily fertilized. The hyacinth is the one that will keep blooming even if you're not watering it. So that would be my personal recommendation if you're going to choose spring bulbs. So I'm just going to take these right out of the soil. They've got roots galore. And this is where a matter of personal style comes in. You could either remove these roots, because like I said, they will keep growing. I think the roots look pretty cool. I do like anything that does look like a little creature. And so I just love these unfurling little tendrils. So I'm gonna leave those in there because I think they look pretty awesome. These are not something that you can hot glue because they are so heavy that they're just gonna pop right out of there. So you do wanna wire these. And the wire is super cheap, easy to find. You can find it at Joann's, Michael's, any of those craft stores, but I would find something that's not too thick of a gauge just because you wanna be able to wrap and wrap and wrap it and not have it look like you're wiring it. You wanna kind of have it be more of an invisible look. So what we're gonna do is just We don't want to choke out this tender little bloom, but we're just going to gently wrap him around. And then leave a little, obviously enough to play around with. And then we're just going to put him into the best, strongest base. So I would take your biggest leaves, those ones that we started with. That's kind of who you want to have it holding on to. And for wiring, all you want to do is just twist, twist, twist some more to really make sure you have that tight. And then you're going to take your ends and just point them down into the wreath so that you don't puncture yourself later as time goes along. So now that we've got those hyacinth on there, I'm going to add another ingredient that I think is fun, the hiawatha. So much fun to say. Again, I just love the look of these. They look kind of deserty. They're the succulent cacti family, but these are incredibly hardy. I know people who, and they really, what's more, they don't like water. You can really overwater these. That's where they start to go wonky. So something like this has such strength. You can really feel it. And you can find similar succulents. A jade plant would be another good one that's gonna look really good long periods of time. These don't require any water. They'll keep looking good even 2 months from now, even if you're not watering them. So same thing, I kind of like the look of these roots, but for this, just to really showcase the hyacinth roots, I'm gonna cut those off. Since it is that green wire, once you wrap him around the little spindles, it really won't show up that much, but you wanna make sure that he's in there. So really weave it around his little fingers, his little legs and arms. Okay, now just taking a look at this, I really don't notice that green wire on the hiawatha like I mentioned, but I do notice it a little bit around the base of these hyacinths. So what I would say is to maybe cover it with an interesting looking lichen or moss. A lot of times you can find these if you just go to a tree in your backyard. There will be a lot just growing on the side of a tree, growing along the trunk. But this time around, I'm gonna use a particular type of moss that I love, interesting lichen. I like to play around with variations of texture. So this type of lichen is really great because it has kind of a black and then interesting limey green texture that I love. And those I'm just gonna hot glue right over the wire to cover that wire on my hyacinth. But the last little touch that I'm excited about is incorporating some of these pussy willows. I love how soft they are. So with something small like the pussy willows, or if you have really skinny little branches, the one thing I would say is these should be clustered together. The other ones we've spread apart because they're large enough pieces that they will look great on their own and the eye can identify those among your wreath. But with these tiny little pieces, I would put them all in a little clumps here and there. That will make them show up a lot more. Kind of like flowers in an arrangement. If you have tinier flowers and you want them to stand out, clumping them together does the trick. This is very simple, clean lines, but look what a lovely wreath we have here. And already this looks gorgeous, but as these start to grow and those blooms start to come out, that'll just be so lovely. And it is a movable piece in the sense that things will evolve as time goes on, which is really nice. I mean, what a great gift to bring to that cranky mother-in-law or somebody that you're trying to impress, coworker, boss, anyone really. I would love to receive this. Instead of a bottle of wine or addition to a bottle of wine, bringing this to somebody's home, what a nice thing to give. And obviously inexpensive. You can use any kind of wreath that you had, like we talked about before, and you can just use greens from your home. It looks lovely. I think even without the addition of these bulbs, this is a really nice thing to have year-round as a growing element in your home. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Rose. I would love to hear comments of suggestions, ideas, fun little pictures of your own wreath. I always love to be in touch. Thank you so much, and please subscribe for more fun tips and tricks. Signing out.